There you go. Mike, hold up. Check, this is what I was going on, right?
Yes, sir.
Listen, look at this here. This so mellow.
Yes,
Let
sir.
it flow.
Vibe right there.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
On that grown man shit on the rap album. I see where you going with it, baby boy.
Yeah, shout out to Anthony Q.
Hold up.
Yes, sir.
Technique, listen, man. You see where I'm going. Listen. First and foremost, I want to thank you, man. First and foremost, of this rocking with me tonight. You dig? I know it's a Friday. You on a good zone, you know what I mean?
Likewise,
you like, yeah, right, man. Nah, I don't want to do nothing Friday, you dig? But you here with me, man. How was your day, first and foremost?
Man, it's good. We here, man. You know what I'm saying? The rest will work itself out. You know what I mean?
I be knowing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, let me tell you something. I feel honored. You dig what I'm saying? I'm speaking to a young bro that has been in the game for 1,000,000 years, man. You dig what I'm saying? You know, and you know, it sounds, hold up 1 second. You know, when you hear people young and say, yo, you know, as they get older, man, I grew up in the game. You dig what I'm saying? Be that genre of rap, R&B, rock. You literally grew up in the art of hip hop. You dig what I'm saying?
Word. Yes, sir.
You know, for those that's joining and that may not know who you are, can you give us a brief synopsis of when you started, right? And the crew that you were affiliated with.
Word. So, you know, to those that's tardy to the party, man, I like to say, you know, my first introduction to the music game was in 94, 95 when we released the Beware of My Crew, which was a collective of Long Beach artists and MCs that were put together by Big C Style and Snoop Dogg at that time out of my city, LBC. You know what I mean? So that was the introduction. You know, I was still, you know, just new to high school. You know what I mean? So that would be, you know, my introduction to, and we made I would say a significant mark to the point to where, you know, it still has relevance to this day. So yeah.
You know, and you know what's amazing about that, man, is that, you know, you jumped in the game with big dogs. You dig what I'm saying?
Word. And I share, you know, even with that, you know what I mean? I had no idea of the magnitude of what we was working with. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, I was a youngin', you know what I'm saying? So I was actually still going to high school and doing the normal things that teenagers do, you know what I mean?
Right.
But when you look back in retrospect, then you recognize, like, wow, okay, that was something different, you know what I mean? So
and you know what's so crazy?
Huh?
And you know what's so crazy about that is that the reality is that during that era, if you look at the early 90s, right, mid 90s, right, like you say, you were in high school, right? But if you look at that era, from that point on, you actually grew with them. So even if your career, right, wasn't as fast paced as theirs, you grew up with them. You dig what I'm saying?
Word.
So,
Well, you know, I always looked at it more so, you know, as a student to the game. You know, like I was more infatuated with the creative aspect of the music game. You know what I mean? We loved to be in the studio and create and write. You know what I mean? It was an honor to be able to, you know, pen some lines for Snoop Dogg and, you know what I mean, come up with ideas and concepts that would actually make it on the wax. Like, you know, during that time, like I tell a lot of people, man, we came out of Gladiator school. You know what I mean? Like it could be a spot for three MCs or 3 artists on a record, and it'll be like 9 people in there writing, trying to get on. You know what I mean? So the fact that, you know, with the second album, Doggy Style, the fact that we was able to, the music that we were doing was actually able to make the cut on those monumental projects. You know what I mean? Those are honorable pieces. So, you know, I'm definitely forever thankful for that. Yeah.
As you should be. As you should be, you know. And once again, you know, I realized that, you know, as artists, as the culture, you know, begin to grow, you know, there's some artists that dealt with life. You dig what I'm saying? Some got frustrated with music. Some said, you know what, man, I'll be on the back end. I might be, I'll create a production. I'll create a label. There was a brief hiatus there. What happened? What occurred?
Well, I could say probably, you know, a fatherhood occurred, you know what I mean? And that'll slow you down for sure, because, you know, you running fast, but, you know, my father raised me, so I had to raise mine, you know what I mean? So we had to be there to make sure that took place. So I'm proud to say that, you know, my oldest son just graduated from college with 2 degrees, you know what I mean? He's a business owner now, you know what I mean? And he got younger siblings that's coming up following his motto, you know what I mean? But those were the sacrifices that was made to make sure that we was bearing some good fruit, you know what I mean? And not just being so caught up in the game to the point to where, you know, we had missed in the next generation come up to suffer. So, you know, it was great sacrifice, but that was the hiatus and actually learning, you know what I mean? While a lot of my peers was graduating from school and going on to getting jobs and learning how to, you know, take care of their business and you know, live independent, we was locked in studios working, you know what I mean? So one thing about it, and I share with a lot of the youth, you can't skip no steps. If you skip them, you're gonna have to go back, you know what I'm saying, and tend to them. So that's the beautiful part of that, you know, that hiatus. But one thing about it is we never stop creating.
Right. And
shout out to the NYC too, man. I just want to make sure I put that out there first and foremost, man. Shout out to the East Coast, man. I love the East Coast, man. Y'all 3 hours ahead, so we always stay paying attention to what y'all doing. You know what I mean? When it happen, y'all gonna do it first, man. You know what I mean?
Oh man, we applaud you, man. Everybody that's on, man, they tapping in, man, and you know, I'm reading a lot of good things, man. So that's a beautiful thing, you dig? You know. You know what's so amazing about what you just stated, right? Because, you know, during the time, right, of you actually coming up, right, you said something that was real. Folks, hold up. I got somebody for you. I'm about to surprise you. You dig what I'm saying? Hold up. Come on, Real. Where you at, Real?
I see.
Yes,
sir. There you go. What's good with you, Real?
This is history.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yes.
I see a whole lot of platinum going on back there, man. I see you back there showing out, man. I'm gonna have to go ahead and
say, man, that's
wall. I got
say, man, that's just part. I mean, they keep going, man. It's a long wall, man. My wife made me take some of them down, man, because it hogs up the road. You know what I mean? But you know, hey, man, I appreciate you having this king on your platform, bro. Love him like my bro, you know what I mean? He one of the dopest MCs walking the planet.
Big dog.
Man, it's mob, man. You know what it is.
Yes,
hey, listen, man. Listen, man. I am honored. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all talking now. I'm honored. You dig what I'm saying? But you know, listen, Techniec, I wanted to actually bring my guy on. You would think that I have known this guy for 15, 20 years, man. You dig what I'm saying? The way we vibe. You dig what I'm saying? But I said, he called me about a half ago, right?
Yeah.
What time you got him on, right? I said, come on, man, and a half. I said, I need you on there just for a hot second. You dig it?
Yes, sir.
Since he was the bridge.
Hey, that guy come with a whole lot of wisdom right there, man. I felt it.
Hey, but first thing,
minutes, man.
First thing, Champ. I told Champ, I said, hey, I don't want to, you know what I mean, be on his platform during his time and let it be about younger. He said, man, please just jump in. I said, most definitely I will.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying?
You already know how we get in.
Hey, quick story though. Quick story, Terrell. Yesterday, one of my OG homies, Dub C, hit me, right? So we talking some business on some other business. He said, man, what you doing? What you working on? I said, oh, man, you know, I keep my foot in it. I said, I got a record to go knock your head off. You go hear it in a few minutes. It got Sibo and Techniec. He said, Techniec? Long Beach Techniec? I said, yeah. He said, y'all niggas still gassing? I said, yeah. He said, hard? I said, yeah. He said, that nigga ain't to be fucked with. He said, he's still Muslim? I said, all day. He said, man, goddamn, we'll put that record out. And that was just yesterday. That's Dub C. That's me and Dub just talking. We talking about his kids and sports, and then I just shot that to him. He was like, man, that nigga hard as fuck. I said, man, nigga look like he's 16 still. You know what I mean?
Salute,
Yeah, that
salute,
nigga still
man,
looks
salute,
16.
man. It's an honor, man.
Word is bond.
For real, straight up, man. We gotta make sure, man, Dub C, man. It was an honor. I worked with him, you know, back when we had the who banging thing going on, man. And every time I ran into him from that point on, man, he always been the same dude, and I super respect that on the real. I see we got LT Hutton in the building, man. Salute to
LT, that's
Hutton,
bro,
man.
that's family.
Because he was
that's
right
family.
there from the inception, man. He know it's good. Yes, sir.
Man, LT is family,
good.
homie.
Hey, this is what you call legendary. You dig what I'm saying? We dealing with all elements of hip hop, the culture within itself. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, salute to you, bro, for that. You know what I mean? Because I like what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's a real big move, even to reach way across the aisle and you know what I mean? Be able to recognize those that's from the whole nother section. You know what I mean? A lot of times, whether it be the East Coast or the West Coast, it's a bias that's there, man. And I respect you for erasing those lines, man, and having us on. Real talk.
And I thank you. And that's the ultimate goal. You know, see, from being from East Coast, we get caught up in this ideology, right? That it's all, you know, here. Yeah, we have the birthplace and so on and so forth, but music, just to say music has become so universal, right? You know what I mean? And it speaks in volumes. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
yeah,
it's important that we step outside of that bias. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
you know,
word.
Cross promoting is a need, especially when you indie. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's easy for me to say, you know what, I'm gonna get a mainstream artist, but then what?
Right.
And then what?
And then what? You can't even use it half the time because the label go make sure you. Right. It's just a headache.
Well, the beauty of it is that we now have these mediums. You know what I mean? I feel blessed and also relieved as an artist that, you know what I mean, we have the ability to go in and create without it being dictated. You know, let the people speak on what's what. You know what I mean? That's where we came from. We chose our stars back in the days. I always been a fan. You know what I mean? We knew about the Snoop Dogg's and the Warren G's and all of that from the soil, cassette tapes, you know what I mean? Mixtapes, you know what I mean? They was already celebrities before the ink got signed because we were out there in the field. It was a different thing. But now that was just regional. It took the record companies to get it to the rest of the world. Now it's at the point to where the people gonna decide what's what. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love where we at right now in this digital dynamic of the game.
Right. And you know what's amazing about that is that, you know, from a standpoint of you know, you Techniec, I give you an example. When I originally heard LBC Crew, right, this was, you were young, right? A kid, a child, right?
Word.
But as life, like we said, fast forward, life happens. You dig what I'm saying? You may have been, you still may have been there, but the reality is that the world didn't know that. You dig what I'm saying? Other regions may have not known that. You dig? Yes, so it's important that we create platforms like this, right? That gives us total autonomy to allow individuals to tell that story. You dig what I'm saying? Our artists to tell that story. Like, don't ever get it twisted. I've always been part of this call. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, I veered off, but I became a great father. I became a great leader. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't ever get it twisted.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to see. I'm reading the board. I see it's your boy Shad. It's a lot of people that's tapping in, like just to see LT pop in on here to pay attention to somebody he worked with, and because all us came from under that Death Row family, that tree, man. Even though, you know what I mean, it was two different sides of, it's a blue and a red side, but everybody unified and got to the money, man, and made phenomenal music, man. You know,
that's what I was speaking on, bro. You know, the ill part about this is that, you know, I always speak on, man, they ask me what was this like or what was that like. Man, I'm honored to be able to come through Gladiator School, you know what I mean, as a youngin'.
Yeah.
And, we know how it is, man. You had to fight to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Though, you know, sometimes the road catch a bad rap at times, man, I'm grateful for coming through that era because it was and is the foundation, you know. I just put a post on something on my post the other day in regards to my OGs, but I mean, this is a universal term, man. Try not to piss on the shoulders that you're standing on. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
at all.
We all standing
Not
on
at all.
we all standing on some shoulders, you know what I mean? And you know, we
Not at
pay
all.
homage to that, and now we even lifting others up on our shoulders. That's how we able to even recognize what it is. You know, it's far, you don't understand the significance of it when you you know, just now coming into it, but once you get to that point of clarity, then it's like, whoa, okay, I'm standing here because somebody else stood there before us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not, you know, speaking from an industry standpoint. I'm speaking from a life standpoint. You know what I mean? Everything that went on the road was real. It was real life experience. It wasn't put on your uniform and look the part. Nah, it was real. It was real blood, real cripping going on, real man business being handled. You know what I mean? And, you know, to the best of our ability, I'm talking about coming off the sidewalks with it. You know what I mean? We talking now, we ain't talking Ivy League dudes and all that. We talking about real sidewalk
concrete,
scholars.
real fresh out the penitentiary guys.
Here's the greatest thing about that, right? Is that once again, remember, so when we think of this umbrella, we think of hip hop, right? Remember, this culture, right, has allowed us, right, to see through the vision of a Techniec, right?
Yes, sir.
Through the vision of a real. So when you speak of this umbrella, Death Row, right?
Yes,
we knew nothing about the culture, right? We knew nothing about red and blue. We had it here, but when we seen it and heard it from that standpoint, like you said, it was coming from sidewalk. This is no Ivy League cats, but at the end of the day, those colors, right? Those flags came together to make some money. You know what I mean? To create.
It was different though. You gotta understand too, though. It was different, but you know what I'm saying? Just a blessing though, because it was at some parts it was green lights with the East Coast when some of them touched the West. I was a part of some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But it just I matured now, and it was. I think back and I'm like, damn. But through that whole time, me and Stevie J was road dogs. Even when he was on Bad Boy and I was on Death Row, we was getting to the bread. Whack Deuce plugged out. We was getting to the bread. You know what I mean? So I used to see through it like, man, these niggas is cool, dog. You know what I mean? These some cool cats. Hey, niggas, and they make great music.
My first trip to New York was Source Awards '95. That was my introduction to the NYC, Madison Square Gardens. Biggie Smalls winning, you know what I'm saying, the big album of the, you know what I mean? And you got Snoop and Dre. Like, that was my introduction to the East Coast. And it was crazy. Like, that was the first time I remember meeting Lil C's, right? And the whole Junior Mafia came out the subway. These dudes pulling up in limos and all that to the front. These dudes hop off the subway. I thought that was some ill shit, you know what I mean? So it's
what's up.
And we all know that time, that era, that's when it was in the thick of the whole, you know what I mean? It was really experience that's undescribable, but it's so monumental, and it changed the face of hip hop forever. It revolutionized the whole game. And it kind of, you know, it was a merger of even though it was a lot of East Coast, West Coast going on, that's where, you know, it hit the head for the East and the West to come together. So, you know, these dudes is like forefathers to where we stand right now. You know, that evolution and that sacrifice from Big to Pac to, you know, all those sacrificial pieces is why we could all stand up on our own too now, those that are still, you know, amongst us, or those who got caught up in that evolution of the music industry that didn't, you know, really reach the forefront and had to fall back because that was polarizing. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole thing, it polarized the game so much. So now as we look at like a Real or a Techniec, you know, we were great supporting cast of these movements, but it was so big that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta wait for that to die down before you can even really stand into that light to do what you do. You know what I mean? But I'm just grateful throughout that whole process that, you know, the fans stay solid. You know what I mean? The music went on to be it's like aged wine. You know what I mean? It's timeless. You know what I mean? So we could always refer to that timeline of how we arrived at this point. And we still here to go hard, man. You know what I mean? It's new breath.
It ain't gonna stop.
To go.
It ain't gonna stop. I can't wait till y'all hear what Techniec just put on this record.
Huh?
I said, I just can't wait till y'all hear what Technique just put on this record. Y'all, I mean, it's phenomenal conversation on the microphone. Not one, but 2 records, 3 records. It's a whole movement we doing right now, man. The cat came in there. I had a record that was sitting, right? And I was perplexed with it. And I was just like, man, record dope. My little 1,500 niggas did it. You know what I mean? But I never named it.
Right.
I was like, Tech, you want to get on this record? He was like, nigga, that shit slap. I said, man, I don't have a name for it. Just been sitting. That nigga said, nigga, the last word you say, nigga, that's the hook. And he put the hook on it. And nigga said, goodbye. And I'm telling you, when you hear this motherfucker, it's one of them, my nigga. It ain't to be fucked. It ain't to be fucked with, my nigga. It ain't to be fucked with, my nigga. It go there. I mean, I just been sitting on it, just sitting on it. I was like, I don't even know what the name is, so I'm just gonna put it up. You know what I mean? Because I got hard drives just full of dope.
So with that being said, real right, I don't want to hold you up. I'm gonna get back into it with Technique. Man, I thank
Y'all
you.
have a good one.
Real, I'll be following up with you, man. I call you.
My
Love. Stay up.
Get to it. Jeez.
All right, now.
All right, real.
Yeah.
Yes,
That part. That part. So what we gonna do, man, we just, oh, man, that was historic, man. That was historic, man. I'm gonna get into some songs, man. You dig what I'm saying? Now, before we get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You started off, right, with this concept, the Blacklist, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you just reintroduced these albums, right?
Yeah. What, as far as the Blacklist album?
Yes. There's Blacklist 1 and 2.
Yeah. Blacklist 2, we released like November of 20 or 19. I'm not sure.
But were they out prior to that? Were they out prior to that?
Blacklist 1 originally dropped in 11.
Right.
Yes, sir. So, and just to give you a backdrop on the whole title and how that came about, shout out to Els. Y'all can find Els at Born Anthony Cruz, man. He's one of the dopest guys that I've worked with. He's a real musician, you know what I mean, and a real producer, a real music head, a real hip-hop head, man. And he's a guy that me and Els been rocking out since at least like 02. And the one thing about it is, that's the one guy that I could go into a studio with and we just start throwing paint at the wall. You know what I mean? So what you hear when you're listening to the Blacklist is created a lot of material that was created right there on the spot. No script, no real concept, just really us vibing off of each other. I mean, it start out pots and pans, and what you got is what you got at the end. All organic, you know, some of it might not even be mixed, but it's just raw instrumentation, drummers, saxophone players, guitar players, and we just vibe out and we just gig. I'm the MC, he the producer, you know.
Now let me get to the title track itself. I'm gonna play that Blacklist. Can I go there?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Woo!
Trying to see loot, y'all could be cool, jumping out from GT coops, 3-piece suits, DT group, major blocks on invasion, dudes is flukes, well I'm something amazing, the effects of purple hazing, brazen, shirt turn only when them guns are blazing, turn act the foley, they see me stuck in Beverly Hills with something black and half Asian, your average low life, rather flow nice, get pounds at low price, show ice, with a youth breakfast and get the hood together, show the kids blacks and money go good together, what niggas wanna do to get the shadow, we can laugh it out, ride or collide with it, we can click, clack it out, back it out, the garage, your montage, garage, I'm on my job, no script, real shit, they acting out. Show with the Mac, bring the real when I'm tracking. British lights are in at night, my demographics map it out. Coast to coast, tech clapping out, vet smashing out. Flow international like a master child. Bother my style, trying to eat, don't bother my child. Ow, keep you, seat you down, rest in peace your town. Introduce a piece of pounds, I got a piece of pounds. But I ain't trying to go there, just wanna pull it out, they like, no fair. Flow so rare, like a peacoat from wool or mohair. For the Claiborne, that's wool and cashmere. Yeah, no joke, homie, I was broke last year. Game was wet, now I'm back right here. Back like here. Haters wanna kiss the Mac, they don't care. Rap guys miss the facts, they so scared. And I am so well prepared. Full Belvedere, practice non-violence. Believe me, the shells are there. Technique for mayor, city up the beat.
I need y'all to get this album, The Blacklist. Hold up, that song itself. Green Eyes, all of y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate everybody tuning in, you dig?
Yes, sir.
If I can't get to y'all, you know what I mean? I'm in zone. I'm in zone. Money Boy Weezy, come on, I'm in zone, baby. But listen, give me the story behind the song itself, Blacklist.
Well, Blacklist is, I mean, just to keep it a buck, you know, for everybody who's been tapping in, it was me accepting being blacklisted from the music industry. You know what I mean? Because just to keep it a buck, that's what it was. You know what I mean? It's not like we weren't pushing it, but there were powers that be, people in certain positions that was like, You know what I mean? So rather than sit there and you know, trip off the lemons, we made lemonade.
I be knowing.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. You know what I mean? We wore our scars like a champ with it. And it took me a cool little metamorphosis, because one thing I say, it just coming into the game, right? I came in backwards. We came straight from the sidewalk, sat right at the top with the biggest guys that was there. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you think you pay your dues, because I'm battling, we street battling back in the day, you know, for cameras and internet and all that. We battled, we're here, you know, through the phone, hey, such and such talking crazy over at this high school. Hey, yo, after school, we over there. You know what I mean? And that's anybody that, you know, ever got down with me in the ciphers could vouch. Like, we came from that era. So to go straight to having a single on, you know, on the radio and in constant rotation and all that, it was a real culture shock. And you have certain expectations once you arrive at that point. But it's so much more dues to pay. It's such more of a process to get to than just, you know, shooting up there to the big guys. So you still got to prove yourself. It's a lot of dues that still need to be paid. And, you know, we had to go and pay those dues. But it got to the point where I was like, yo, I mean, nothing against the industry. I'm a fan of music. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of hip hop, pop, R&B, all of that. However, it wasn't necessarily a place for me, because as I mentioned, we came from sidewalk mentality. You dig what I'm saying? So one thing about it, it taught me to be independent, you know, to start your own business, wear your, you know, rock your own brand, put your people on, you know what I mean? Put your folks in position who are willing to learn, actually learn the trade, as opposed to just, you know, being spoiled and relying on other people to put you on. And dudes out here looking for put-ons, you know what I mean? We put ourselves on.
Well, and that's the great thing about, see that, and that's the great thing about, once again, with that hiatus, right? Now peep game, remember, with that hiatus, right? The hiatus brought on growth, right? But it also allowed you to say, okay, I came into a wretched world, right? But it was also things that I still acquired from there, right? So let me take advantage of some of the things, right? So as you stated, you know what I'm
say, knowledge is power. Yeah, word up.
Right. So at the end of the day, despite whatever occurred, you still are winning, because you are here today. You dig what I'm saying? You are here to tell a story, but you're also in a position where, you know what, you can delegate. And this is what's needed. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, once again, you know, we say, damn, what happened to Tech? You dig? Until you hear a story like, okay. Now as you talk, you're not on here saying, man, F this dude. You like, you know what? Life happened. Yeah, I got blacklist, but you know what? I took it and I ran with it.
Word.
Now what?
Word.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm gonna get into the next joint. Cold as ice.
Okay. Oh, you still on Blacklist 1? We still in Blacklist 1. Okay.
Come on, man. Walk with me, man.
I'm walking with you. Let's go.
Joints, man. Come on.
Shout out to Ice-T.
Time to ball like 4-ring cold. Popping on the block, hopping out the Pyrex with a 4-ring soul. Take it to the script dance, talking about a whole go ahead. Rodney, look, you working with the pole. When they talk low shit, I'm working with the flow. ROG just came home in no polo. Nah, still on federal parole. Now we back to biz, inevitable to blow. Y'all kids can never go toe to toe with a young smoking Joe. I'm over no. Oh for oh, no wins, no losses. I expect the 10s, it ends with the bosses. Zirconians in your walking shit, y'all sick, you're making me nauseous. Bump this in the forces, I'm myself destructible. Oh, yeah. Time to ball like 4-ring cold, the Beijing gold, TEC MVP flow. So hot with a tongue so cold, walk with a box, rock with a fence roll. Slow mo cam as a dog in the dough. Garbage and fam, 2 tags when they so. Got 2 death, too late, too slow. Protect, too hot, too fresh, too bold. Let go, let God, that's the only way they living right.
Hold up. Yes, you could find it on iTunes. You can find it on every digital platform out there. Now listen, y'all, I need y'all to understand. Listen, have you ever, right? Because you got, I mean, I hear that East Coast flow there, bro. I mean, it would be hard to be like, nah, and don't get it twisted. You know, we usually hear a little accent, you know what I mean? So we be like, you know, New York cats, nah, he might be from a different region, you know what I mean? He from down south or West Coast. I don't hear none of that.
Huh.
Have you heard that? Like, yo, dog, I don't know, you sound like a East Coast cat, you know what I mean?
Hey, yo, that's been the gift and the curse my whole career. You know what I'm saying? You know, for a lot of times it's like I sound too West Coast, and then others like, man, you sound too East Coast. But you know, I mean, I'm an '80s baby, man. You know what I mean? The D boys, the D boys was had EPMD pumping out their joints. You know what I mean? You know, we came up in the era '93, '94. We was on nothing but, you know, AZ, Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we was on that in conjunction with. I mean, and let's not sleep. I'm a major Ice Cube fan, man, and even like West Coast Cam, man, them brothers was knocking over them hard drums and, you know, and break beats too. You know what I mean? Not to mention, you know, Grandmaster Flash, and you know what I mean, the message and all. Like, come on, bro, we was man, my pops was in Lowriders bumping all that.
Right,
Shout out to VIP Records in the LBC, because back then it was all about the mixtape. Mixtape volume 1 through like 100, bro. Break out the tape boxes. You dig what I'm saying? So it was never a bias on the music that we was hearing coming up. The West Coast sound really just got branded and went international during the Death Row era, because now we're dealing with a whole nother level of bread. You know what I mean? We talking about hundreds of $1 million, you know, being generated through these companies. So just to say, you know, I'm a baby of hip hop. You know, I came up with an ear in hip hop. You dig? So now we heard, right? We heard some East Coast legends. We heard Ice Cube. But give me some Long Beach, right, or Cali legends that inspired you. Okay. I don't know if y'all familiar, but I keep Wind Rocker. Huh? And this is what this is about. Because a lot of times, so it was a brother named OG Radio. He was probably like one of the first ones to come out, you know what I mean, in Long Beach. He had one of the most notable records was a single called I Like Teresa. You know what I mean? And he had the little Jamaican vibe popping with it, you know what I mean? So we had them, and you know, DJ Slice, you know, he had a guy, I can't know the name off top, but DJ Slice was a pillar in the city. Then you move over to Compton, then it's Toddy T, Mixmaster Spade, you dig what I'm saying? Rodney Ojo, Cooley, you know, all those guys, DJ Aladdin, DJ Battle Cat, and all those guys coming up. So these are like DJ Cool, all these guys were like pioneering the West Coast sound. You know, then you go into like the Deadly Threat, um, uh, Deadly Threat, West Coast Cam. You know what I mean? Like, all of this is coming into our city. You know, Compton scene was popping a little bit before Long Beach was really popping, you know.
Right.
We were still listening to those guys, you know what I mean? So, but I would say one of the most notable for me coming out the West Coast early on was Mixmaster Spade.
Wow.
Mixmaster Spade, he was one of those guys I really enjoyed hearing.
Right. See, and this is the importance, right, of dealing with regions, different coasts, right? Because, you know, you can get on, I can interview anybody from anywhere and they'll always give you a New York legend, right?
Right.
And that filters out throughout the world. But when you look at their region, right, all those individuals, some I know them, and I'm in their age bracket, but I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to do their homework, right? I'm about to rewind this shit and be like, oh, this is what hip hop is. We need to understand, right? The essence of it. You dig what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, I can tell you this, but do you realize that we were still inspired by our locals as well? And they were legends. And some of them are still legends. You dig what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's needed. It's needed. Right. With that being said, I'm going to get into Can I Live?
Also, before we do that, man, I want to say long live Shock G, man, because the Digital Underground, man, I remember I got the Sex Packs tape. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my first like cassette tapes, you know what I'm saying, back in the days, along with my High C Leave My Curl Alone joint back there. But we ain't gonna get into that. You know what I mean? Second and None and all those guys, you know. But long live, you know what I mean, Shock G, man. He was a major pillar for the West Coast sound and keeping the funk and the hip hop alive, you know. Also even putting, you know, Tupac on his platform. So you know what I mean? That's major homage to bro, man.
Shock G, rest in peace. Yes, he was. And you know what's so crazy? Because if you look at everything that's occurring right now, right? If you look at everybody posting up, they ain't saying West Coast nothing. They're saying a legend to hip hop.
Word.
You dig what I'm saying? And you're from the West Coast, so now when you say Sex Pack, you like, yo, dolls, I can take it back. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna go there with you, but we needed to do that. We needed to do that.
Yes, sir.
And we're moving forward, so we're gonna get into Can I Live? And this is off that Blacklist too. So
yeah, Blacklist too, man. This is one of my favorites. And before you press play on it, man, I just want y'all to really vibe. For those that's in the room with us right now, just really vibe and check this one out, because it's a sign of the times type record, man. And just as a young black male, especially growing up in America, period, and being here in this time with everything that's going on and what we seeing, the question is, can I live? But understand, on this title, there's no question mark. We not asking. We gonna live.
That's right.
Let's do it. Yes, sir.
And that's why. And this is why I honed in on that. You dig what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I appreciate you.
Say less.
Yeah, on the real, you only get one shot at it, you know what I'm saying? Once it's over, it's over. You know? That's why we box ready and box Chevy.
XY chromosome, balance, masculine, feminine. All line on me, suckers, send me soft on my women friend. Make man, Mohammed Mayfield, it's him again. Double L's to double U for the win again. Put the locks on the street for the Benjamins, baby. Put the box on the beat, trunk quivering crazy. Women flying, flirty, with old school, wheel shy, 32, dying this journey, blind to 30. Whatever. Long as you heard me, you never served me. Big slavey, this whip pop with hydrated. I'm never thirsty, baby, swaying the whip, smoking the deep dish, heavy squirrely, curly, reflection in the paint. Hustle the late night, so the other to the bank. When you do it yourself, you deserve another rank. See the technique shining, cause they told me that I can't.
Shout out to Blue, her favorite color.
Like you don't hold the kids out of gun show with po planning to sabotage your mom and pop's vacate. Drizzle got it popping like an AK on Dre Day with guns aiming, chunks get banned by the trade.
Shout out to Blue again. Blessings with that verse.
Without one time trying to come find a nigga who got the whole city locked. One gun female calling on another guy, Techniec, calling else guy with the blessed blood streets catchy from the sun. If you hated on the one, then you know the two is the gun. 45 Magnum on my left. signs. Niggas be right around with no lots of right minds. I pull up to the light, outshine and blind niggas for days. Ain't even with a whole quote from Jay.
In the sunshine.
Oh.
Yes, sir. And I live.
Visions of California living, that's in California prisons, all in my intermission. Sunset to sunset in a city dream, where reality ain't really what it seems. Trouble on edges, entirely hit it at the seams. Pills count a kilo measured on a triple beats. Ride clean, representation of God's self. However, you ride dirty, you gotta ride stealth. Come from a different cloth, but Dickies and flannel. Big city to channel, whatever floats your boat. Only real on my panel, handle business, being witness to the scandal. We still be a shadow like the sun to a candle. We not live. Question you ask the haters about. Peace and blessings to brothers and sisters who made it out. Find your squad and get on your job. Block rebels of life, I swear to only bow to God.
Yes. That's what we want to do.
Shout out to Miss Brandy Price too for letting her soul ring on that thing.
Listen, y'all. The science behind the song is powerful. As black and brown folk, man, not taken away from no one else, man.
Yes,
no one else. We love the world. But everything, and this song, help me understand, when was this song penned?
Maybe a little over a year, probably like 2019.
Right? But the thought pattern has always been there.
Yes, sir.
Right? So the echoing effects of 2 years down the line, and we still are just trying to just live, man.
Right.
We just, come on, man. We just want to live.
Facts. Live while we can, you know what I mean? Enjoy this life. It's precious and it's a temporary thing, this physical existence. You know what I mean? Even if you're blessed to see 100, it's still a temporary existence. We finite beings. However, the spirit is eternal, I believe. You dig what I mean? You know, even as we could see each other, but I feel your spirit. You dig what I'm saying? Hopefully you feel mine and the people can feel it too. You know, that's what that's about. So can I live? You know, hopefully it's something that could pass down for generations for them to at least just erect that thought. You know what I mean? To just, you know, get off the bullshit for a second and just live, breathe. You know what I mean? Everything else gonna work itself out if you believe that. You dig? Yes, sir.
Who produced this song?
The whole Blacklist. Now, one thing about the Blacklist, and again, I think I mentioned the EPMD and all that back in the day, right? You know, the one thing I love about the early hip hop was it was one producer on the album.
Right.
You see what I mean? So now when I'm linking up with guys, it's like, yo, let's do an album. Because you want the vibe to be consistent from top to bottom. You know, when I used to hear P production, you know, EPMD production, the vibe was consistent. Even if it was just samples, the fingerprint was the same on each record.
True story.
Yeah. So, you know, that's something that I was able to embody as far as hip hop is concerned. When it got, you know, real corporate, you start everybody, I got to get a hot beat from such and such, a hot beat from such, and it's a collective of hot songs. But you can't play it from top to bottom because the vibe changes on each record. So the beauty of what me and Elle started doing is like, yo, let's make audio movie. Let's make at least the vibe, the consistent. You might hear a synth that's coming through on each record. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say Elle's produced Can I Live. He produced the whole Blacklist.
We needed that, man. We needed that. Listen. Man, you know, I want to take it back. You had a chance to get on songs with powerful artists, man. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Give me one artist, man, that just a song that you did that, or you were in the studio with that just inspired you like far and beyond.
Man, there's so many, man.
Give me one or two that when you was in the studio with them, it was just like, yo.
I would say, you know, it got like a nostalgic feel when I think about it. It always pops in. I think I've mentioned this story before. but it was when we did the Boom 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 Out the Moon record with Tupac. Now, mind you, this is him fresh home, you know, working on his albums, working on the Outlaws projects. He's filming movies. He's doing commercials. This is that Pac. You know what I mean? That last little 9-month type deal of his existence. And we had already had a record, the record Boom Boom Boom. And when he came in, Snoop played it for him. And asked, you know, I guess he asked him how he felt about the record and, you know, if he'd be down to get on it. I sat and watched this brother write maybe like 2.5 to 3 verses. He went in, it couldn't have been no more than 15 minutes, man. And he laid these verses and was off to back into the other studio to work on what he had to do. And when you hear that verse and the energy, even though, you know, he had his thing going on with Bad Boy at the time or whatever, and he took a few shots, just the fact that he was so in tune with what he had going on that he was able to go in and just throw away 2 verses like it wasn't nothing and tell the
like it was nothing.
us, yeah, to pick the one that, you know what I'm saying? And the one that made it was fire, but that, to my recollection, like that was crazy, because I'm like, you know, it might take me a couple hours to get you know, a 16 laid or something, you know what I mean? And bro just went in like it was nothing, you know what I mean? Pinned it, went in, laid it, and got on about his business. Probably when he shot a commercial or a movie or something after that, you know what I mean? So it's like forever in a day type vibe that I picked up from that experience. So I would say that was probably like, you know, the biggest, but it was so many, man. We had so many coming up, just working with different artists, man. I think you know, I got some great memories with creating things. Huh?
How was it working with Mac 10?
Man, Mac 10, man, he definitely came in and took on a big brother role with me. You know what I mean? And you know, it's crazy for anyone who knows the dynamics of that. Just me being from Long Beach, which is considered, you know, a blue city, Crip city, coming off of the back of the, you know, working with the Dog Pound and being invited to come and work with the West Side Techniec and the startup of the Who Banging Records. He really laced me knowledge-wise in certain areas on, you know, I came from just being just a rapper to dealing with a guy who was about his business first.
Right.
And he was like, yo, he gave me a quick crash course on how to go handle my business before even coming to deal with him. You know what I mean? Which was, you know, that's unheard of. A lot of people just probably take advantage of the ignorance of a young guy, you know, who got a little talent to him. So, I mean, you know, I'm definitely thankful for that, because all of that helped in my evolution and my growth. Just coming from a young plump, ignorant dude who thought that I was going to change the world through just rap, you know, being an MC, to realize like, yo, it's a whole nother level to this game that you have to be a student to in order to even enjoy your craft. You know what I mean? And even though, you know, even after that, it was a long, an experience of education. Of course. So to speak. You know what I mean? Right. But he planted that seed, you know what I mean? So, you know, always give, I had to learn to get, like I say, when I was younger, you know, I thought like a young man, but as I grew up, then I started to understand the jewels that was bestowed upon me in order to continue moving forward. So I think, you know, I'm thankful for growth for that, straight up.
And this current day and time, what are you currently involved in business-wise, music-wise? Talk to me.
All right, so as of right now, man, Block Rebel is the brand, you know what I mean? Y'all can get over to blockrebel.com and order y'all some merch as well. Block Rebel is the brand. And what that is what this symbol represents to me is you are the star, you are the voice, you are the power. You know what I mean? So for artists and producers and those videographers, graphic designers, any type of creators that's coming up, that's what we are encouraging through that. You know what I mean? Okay. Because it's all been like a trial and error, like a real organic growth. But it's a lot of guys that's coming up and they'll come to me like, hey, how do I get in the industry? How do I get in the industry? And I'm like, bro, for one, create yourself first. Because when you leave it to somebody else to create you, you at the mercy. You at the mercy of that. And if they decide to go left or right and you ain't quick enough to make that turn, then you know, you're going to get lost in the sauce. So, you know, I encourage a lot of, because right now it's a more beautiful time than ever, as we just mentioned earlier, having the, you know, the platforms that are available to up and coming artists right now is something that I wish I would have had in 94, 95.
Of course. But here's the great thing about that. At least you had a chance to experience that. See, that's what makes it all unique.
Yes, sir.
Right?
The story is authentic. Yes, sir.
Right. It's authentic, but there was foundation, right? Now, as a young man, we don't know what foundation is. Yeah. But as you grew older, you realize that it was foundation. So you have something to build on. And now you become, quote unquote, the old head, the legend, and everything else. You dig what I'm saying? So now you can convey it so fluidly, right? You see what I'm saying? At the mercy. When you use terminologies like that, you tell yourself, damn, 14, 15 years old. Oh man, I couldn't even fathom. You know what I mean?
Word.
And as you stated, coming from a culture, the blues, you dig what I'm saying? The Reds, you know, now you're like, you know what? It's still there. I'm still able to give them, right? I'm not here to say, you know what? You can't do that, but I'm gonna drop some gems on you. Use this music as therapy. You dig what I'm saying? Incorporate this as therapy so that you can, you know what I mean, eventually move forward. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we need more like you. You dig what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
In regards to a new album, what are you currently working on?
The new project that's coming up, my personal project that I'm putting my hands all over, I'm bringing at least a good 8 to 9 different producers. Now, I said what I said before, but this project right here, I wanted to try to A&R the whole thing and bring and put other, you know, producers in the loop on it. And it's called Fam or Foe, right? So that's my personal project that I'm working on. Also got Blacklist 3, you know, so that saga is going to continue. You know what I mean? We got a plethora of material on that, and we're constantly creating. So we got Blacklist 3. I'll be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for Fam or Foe. That's coming out exclusively on Block Rebel. Blacklist is like a Water to Sea. That's L's company, and Block Rebel. We believe that business do business with business. You know what I mean? So even though we cool, it's like, you know, it ain't no discrepancy when we come to the table. You know, you bring the bread, I bring the meat. We're gonna break bread like that. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what we encouraging in the collaborations is, you know, even when guys get out like, yo, how can I collab? Like, yo, what's your business? What's your, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to plant that seed that even once you gone, you know what I mean, it's something there that your family might be able to benefit off. We, you know, we're more interested in cataloging than we are, you know, trying to be superstars and all of that. You know, God willing, you know, if it happen, if 1 million of y'all start feeling what we doing, and plus, you know what I mean, hey man, let it do what it do. But we chilling, man. We good with the people.
Well, you gain some fans here. You gain some new ones here, baby.
Yo, man, I'm honored, straight up. I'm honored everybody who took the time. It looked like the numbers is, you know, and it's getting up there. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm thankful for everybody who stayed tuned in through the duration, and hopefully we was able to exchange some information and drop some jewels that y'all could all benefit from, straight up.
Can I close out with I Know They Know?
Oh yeah, that's one of my joints. That's off the Blacklist 1, right?
Come on, baby. This is what I do, baby. Walk with your boy.
Hey, shout out, man, to the whole, man, tri-state and all that, man, for vibing. And to be honest, man, these type of records is really for y'all, because y'all can recognize what it is, man. On the real. This hip-hop.
I'm gone.
Word. Hey, heard me talking through the pain. Y'all know what it means to me. I know. They know. Corrupt.
in the summer.
When I hear my coldest phrases, lyrically it amazes multiple ages. Look, Hollywood don't gotta add me on their playlist, long as every hood nigga got me in their playlist.
Camouflage flameless, bitter look invisible, destroy them in the physical. I am not a being, but a vat of chemical, forming the flows by nature's criminal. One nation indivisible, liberty and justice for busters is critical condition in this fiddle, not the visit, but to come and finish you all. Vision enhance a boss in this interview. They so
lost in the minute views.
Right now, night now. Black on black, I'm young Mike Night now. Any challenges on
site now.
Back in the diesel, hit a
Baby hood, bring it back for the people. Don't hesitate to throw up your fists and come rock with us. In stress and the pain, we still fly as fuck. So what's up? What's up? What's up, my partner? What's up? Look, we don't give a fuck where you from. Don't keep it real, baby. Keep it real with it. Keep it real with us.
Enhance your game, break it down to the particle. Why the homies break push on your article. I'm not affected by the matrix. It's like boards, line each words like LASIK. These all the basics. It's like game direction. Fools in the intersection. Women wanna give affection. Hop out on the message. Jeans by the traces. Most likely your favorite MC's girlfriend's favorite. Technique, lyrically. Literally, using it out of touch spiritually. It's chemically imbalanced
minds. This little light of mine, let my talent shine.
Technique, introduce St. Valentine's. Massive debris left with the style of mine. I ground beef like Thousand Island. Hamburger man loaded by 1,000 times. Back actor with 1,000 rhymes. No longer backbone, never cool off. Fire in chapter. Meet your new boss. It ain't hard to tell they too soft and I'm soft white.
I need y'all.
It's not high.
I need y'all to support. It's 9 o'clock. I can go on with this, brother. You know that song right there is 9 minutes. Man, I haven't heard a 9-minute song since the early 90s, y'all. But it's so important, right? Because when you got the autonomy to do what you do, you can create what you create. You can make it as long as you want, right? But when you dropping gems and you in that zone, it's therapeutic.
Yes, sir.
I applaud you, man.
Bless.
Give us your handle. Give us your handle. How can they get in contact with you?
Hey, y'all make sure y'all check me out at Techniec. That's at TECHNIEC. TECHNIEC on all platforms. I'm Techniec.
Oh man. I salute you, man. Listen. When that new album come out, you know we getting you back up here. You dig what I'm saying? But we gonna talk offline, man. It's a lot we got going on. You know we got the bro real that has become that glue. So we working. We working, baby.
Man, hey, salute to Realest, man. Salute to Terrell, Blair, man. I appreciate you for even sharing your platform with me. You know what I'm saying, and bringing that light. You know, where it might have been a little darkness or a little fuzziness, man. So, you know, you definitely appreciate it, man. You got my line. Feel free to tap in anytime, man. I know we got the time difference. It don't even matter, man. Holla at me.
And for those individuals, as Techniec would say, that's tardy to the party, listen, man, I'm going to put this out. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to put it out on everything. You dig what I'm saying? There was a lot of gems being conveyed, man. Oh man, powerful, man. We've showed connections, man. We spoke about history in regards to East and West, man, but now it's the world. It's a universal approach, and music is music. I salute you. Have a good one, bro.
Bless, peace. Man. Hey, peace, y'all. We out.
Hey, listen. Before we move forward, how's Ramadan treating you?
Man, you see, I was quick to be ready to get off, man. The sun on his way down, man. We about to go break fast, man. But you know, the blessings of Ramadan is in full effect, man, as we sit here right now. So you know, is nothing. It's all in stride. You know what I mean? This is the time where we reflect. This is the time where, you know, we deal with whatever we dealing with within self, man, so we could come out on the other side much stronger and much better. So inshallah, that's how it turned out. So man, blessed to all of the Muslims and the believers that are out practicing Ramadan, you know what I mean, and may your Ramadan be fruitful.
Peace.
Look.
Salute.